post.
Intro.
We're gonna flip. Ready?
Flip.
We're live.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Was that the intro?
Yeah, that's it.
I thought you had some music or something you were going to put on to start
we
off.
don't have
with
over that. We have to get rid of this though.
Okay.
There. Broadcast going soon.
We're
40.
done.
Shane?
I'm Shane.
You're Shane? 40.
40, yeah.
Okay, we're here. We had to go change our chairs out. We had to get chairs, but that's all done. That's it. Anyways, thanks for making it on time. Not. And Shane, thanks for being closer on time.
Yeah.
We were behind too, so that's fine. We know everyone's kind of coming in, scrolling in. And there's us on that screen. So
Itching to watch this gong show.
Oh, come on. It's fun. It's fun.
Hey, it's a school night. I've got to be in bed soon.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're working now.
I'm working, man.
Yeah, you're working now. Finally, what, 6 months later?
8.
That's all right. We're good. We'll check with Patrick. Is our audio good, Patrick? Good? Audio's good. Okay. Okay, guys, welcome to the Gong Show, DirtBikeNews.ca. On my left is Stephen Foord. This is Shane Cuthbertson. We have your Instagrams on the bottom of the screen there. Put them on there. There. Now they're on there. Anyways, brought you guys here just kind of talk about the whole season, everything that went on.
2018?
It was busy. Really busy compared to last year. Last year was like a really nice holiday after the fire bans that kind of scared everything. So it did suck. It was not so fun. Yeah, anyways, we had a couple of huge events that happened. This one was pretty awesome. It was the Red Bull Rocks and Logs. This is pretty amazing event actually to come to Calgary that Shane was part of putting on. This is the 4th year.
Was the 6th year.
The 6th year. Okay. Oh, I was gone for the first one. Which was another rain out, which kind of happened this year as well, right? So tell us about that. Like basically Friday night, clouds are rolling in, weather's supposed to be good, and then it just drops.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's outside, so you can't really control the elements, and but I think the first year really prepared us well for it. Yeah. The first year we were really scrambling.
Was it like a mirror of the first year in a way?
Pretty much, and
that was only supposed to be a one-day event, or?
Yeah, it was a one-day event, but it like monsooned for like a day and a half, and we had just built the track, so everything was super fresh, and it was just a mess, and we were kind of like, what are we gonna do? And then at WildRose, they had just piles and piles of mulch that the tree guys were bringing in, so we were like, well, let's try that, and we just coated the entire course with it.
And turned it like a huge mulch,
and then
sand track.
We delayed it for one day, and on Sunday it was fantastic, perfect traction, and that happened again this year. So luckily we had the mulch down before the monsoon came this year. Yeah. So
wasn't the monsoon worse this year? The way that
it was pretty bad. We had some pretty interesting sinkholes going on, and we were able to.
Gonna bring my mic up. Too far.
We were able to trench some rivers and get some water off the course, but it turned out really well.
Oh, well, is that good? Yeah, it's better. Okay, we got better audio. Just trying to actually, we had our Red Bull Rocks and Logs video here on our screen. Let's bring that up because that was pretty cool. We had a recap. So much went on this year. It was just insane.
It was a tight old day to pack all that racing in for you, though, wasn't it, Shane? There must have been hard work and a bit worrying Saturday. Yeah. There was going to be no lead up. and then
Yeah.
you had to try and fit everything in on the Sunday.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was gonna
throw
be,
everything together.
Yeah.
That was going to have to be started every race start on time, no waiting for anybody, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
worked out good at the end. And even you did actually finish about on the time you stated.
Yeah.
Even
yeah,
though
yeah.
for
We've
the
generally
two-day
been
event.
pretty good that way. Like, and yeah, I mean, it all goes back to just the people that are working the event and the competitors having some patience with us, and everything at the end of the day seems to work out really well. So
I think, like, with the 6th year, everybody was learning. If you're in on that start gate,
Yeah.
it's going. Where the first year,
Yeah.
there was a lot of hanging around because people were up there.
Yeah.
Well, the delays
Shooting.
pile up, and you
Well-
can't have a delay
No,
like that, right?
not with that thing. But the first year there was, because people were missing their starts and people were waiting and rushing up to the pits to go and grab them. And then
Yeah,
I think now at that kind of event, people know if you're not there, it's going to run with or without you.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty good event we had. There's a little bit more enduro cross all across, Alberta and BC alone, and then there's a huge enduro cross series that you did as well. So you actually took this year off, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, because
that
I
must
wasn't
have been
working
nice.
because of the money. It was
Yeah.
a bit horrible watching it.
Yeah.
But we did make, we went and done the BC, the 2 rounds, the one at Popcom and the one at the Rev Limiter.
Yeah.
They were good fun.
How do they? Well, yeah, the Revlin was awesome. That was a
That
super
was,
fun.
that was good
Another
fun, especially
wet,
with the rain.
Oh yeah,
it was
another
so
wet,
good.
terrible
Yeah,
day.
Popcom was really dry and dusty.
Yeah.
That's a long track in there, and the organisers done a great job to get it all sorted out.
Yeah.
And then we did go down and done the Orofino Logocross with Jim down there, and it turned out
Yeah, and
to
that's
be a fabulous.
huge purse too that came out
That's
for
a
that.
big money.
And then Tristan won that, didn't he?
Tristan won that, and Melissa won the ladies, so they both come away
Awesome.
with money and
Melissa Harden.
chainsaws.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's that was cool. They had they actually won chainsaws.
yeah,
Or?
chainsaws.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah,
So another kind of hard enduro. I kind of introduced it back into the off-road cross country scene. We kind of went away from it a little bit because it got a little too intense right away. So this race that we're going to show is the Maze Runner cross country. So this had a hard enduro section.
Right now,
This is kind of like a recap. I'll throw
so a
us
lot
over
of
there,
pivot
guys.
turns were really key
guys
for this
talking
section.
here.
You had to come up.
Where are we here?
He's right to the
Window.
top.
Looks pretty simple so far.
Yeah.
Here, I'll put us over there. Then it looks like we're
cover them up.
Yeah, we're.
You don't want to see Shrek anyway,
No,
This looks,
but
especially Jordan as well,
yeah.
the Bushmaster.
So we'll turn the volume down here a little bit. Anyway, so this was like a hard enduro up by Sundry, and yeah, it was absolute amazing area to go to.
But an amazing view, like you can see on the film where we were riding.
Yeah.
But looking down the mountain as well was, well, if you had a chance.
Well, it's all
was a
rock
good
and
view, yeah.
all rock and all the shale and
Yeah.
everything like that. But yeah, Tristan, he made this stuff look like child's play. It was absolutely amazing.
Well, he just come back from TKO, and where he
Yeah,
got
he did.
6th. He was a top
Yeah,
non-full factory rider, where all the blokes above him were factory riders with factory
yeah.
bikes
Well,
and
pretty much
everything
everyone
else.
was a factory rider who were in the top 15, 20 almost. So
Yeah, so we
everyone
done
came
good.
out. But yeah, this event was pretty cool. Oh, little quad's going by there. This event was pretty cool because of the just the pure terrain and the rock
And-
garden. Shane had convinced me that they only wanted to do one lap in there, so that was not convincing. It was do it or I'm never coming to race ever again. So yeah, it was good, and it was nice because that event, a lot of the not the vet masters, but
Lower classes.
lower
come up.
classes. I said, listen, if you guys aren't in the points, you want to go do this.
Yeah.
Bump yourself up.
Yeah,
Go
do it for
to
one.
go to that event. So yeah, it was pretty neat to do. So these are all the pros we were talking with here. We'll just pause it on this one section. So this was
Steaming up.
this was one of the harder corners you guys did before you got kind of to a plateau, and then you could
Yeah, this hill up here.
Yeah, you could do the rock
turning
garden.
up. Yeah,
So that was where a lot of guys spent their time. And yeah, it kind of really changed the way the race went because you could be 15, 20 feet from first place and in front of you, you're with
Yeah.
third and fourth battling up that hill.
yeah, and you
So-
could make time up.
Yeah,
There's
you're
a
no
few
longer...
people I ain't seen, and then they're up there, and then you're slowly creeping up on them.
Yeah, so it's kind of neat for
So,
you could
yeah.
be fourth, fifth, and all of a sudden you could have eyes on
You can see someone,
Tristan or
yeah,
somebody right
you
at the
can
top.
see
You're like,
someone and you go,
I'm right there, but then
Yeah.
you're thinking, okay,
I got to get there.
I got to get there. How long did it take for them
Yeah.
to do that? So that was pretty cool event. We'll be seeing what we're doing for next year. I'm actually taking a hiatus. We're not doing Maze Runner next year because we have a lot more of
I think
cool
you should
stuff
just
coming
stay
up.
up there.
Just go there.
Don't do all the other stuff. So, Shane will agree, because Shane, you killed it up there by the reports going.
Yeah.
You were
I did okay.
second best to Tristan. The reports come back. You were going up
It
through
was
there.
good. I liked it. It was
So,
super fun.
Yeah, if we can get up there and just do laps up there, that'd be brilliant.
We
I think.
can, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, do it. Keep you up for 3 hours because then the spectators have some time to walk up, get water, go
Well.
back down. Not that long.
So, I don't know.
So yeah, another kind of cool event that happened was Le Garrigues. I can't remember. It's in the hard enduro, yeah, in the West,
Championship,
the West
yep.
series. So let's bring that back in.
The bloke who just jumped over the stream and landed on the iron railing.
Yeah, he did do that. No, this one was inside of in the city.
Oh, this is the Portugal one.
yeah,
this
this is pretty
city
awesome
race,
to see.
Yeah.
Someone
This
puts
looks,
in a lot of work.
I like the in-town part, like the prologue part is
Yeah.
really cool.
They were going through literally like
Yeah,
handlebars
handlebar
were
width.
just wider than what they were in. This was before Johnny got hurt. Because right after this, I believe, was the beach race.
No, Johnny got hurt at Megawatt.
Oh, you got hurt
Walker did.
Megawatt, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, this one, I don't think was this in the West series?
Yeah, this was the West. This was
It
an
was.
early one.
Because it went a lot earlier than it usually is, I think.
Yeah.
They might have done that to fit it into that West, so.
And then you got the prologue, which
Yeah,
is
you had
this
a night,
bit, wasn't it?
night version here.
Yeah.
Prologue.
Nice and wet.
Or we'll just see if anyone.
Try and get Red Bull go through
Yeah,
city centre of Calgary.
they could. They had.
Get Kevin Pelcher there with the skid steer to put
Yeah.
it all in. We'll be fine.
Yeah, they do. Well, they have like some ski or Kokanee has like a snowboard one or something in Banff. They go through
Oh,
the
do they?
town.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean it is snow, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, we can go across the Bow River on a floaty pontoon thing. Nothing too much shame.
Can't do any more harm than that. Cool. So if any of you guys are watching, if you want to comment, anything like that, we'll check the comments out here whenever we can. Yeah, it's kind of cool to see these kind of races and then kind of see how we can implement that here as well.
Well, it's also good seeing in America their extreme enduros, TKO, the Rev Limiter, and
Yeah.
a few other are actually getting big numbers.
Yeah, we have a lot of those we'll
yeah,
talk
so
about
it's good to
coming
see
up.
that. So
Oh, this is a ladies class here, so that's
yeah.
on a Yamaha. So yeah, that's a pretty cool.
it's good to see. I don't know if
cool
it's
event.
official that America, I don't know if you've heard anything, Shane, that America was looking at making an extreme Enduro series,
Yeah.
which was Rev Limiter, TKO, and Last Dog Standard, etc. But I don't know if it's official yet.
Yeah,
If it is an official AMA
I mean, I've
championship.
seen some announcements by some like U.S. teams like Sherco.
Yeah.
They said they're going to be doing it, and so I kind of looked for a schedule, but I didn't
Yeah,
see
haven't
any
seen-
schedules posted yet.
But
for
there
it.
isn't for any of the championships yet for the
Yeah,
AMA yet.
yeah.
Is there? I haven't found anything, so but it'd be good if they do start pushing it that way.
Yeah, it'd be good. I want to see. Well, you went to one in Kellogg, Idaho.
Yeah, went to
And
the
that
Sticks
one-
and Stones one.
Yeah, and that one looked pretty tough.
That was good. I just come back from Mexico with the Mexican belly, so
Oh, good.
we
You're
weren't
tan.
we weren't in good shape. But yeah, went down there with Tristan and Kendall, and
And
yeah,
then
that was
and
fabulous.
Tristan got second there.
Tristan got second, but he did hit a loose rock, broke his hydraulic clutch hose, rode back out. 20 minutes it took him to ride out. Then they had to wait for a marshal to come in to strip his hydraulic hose off his bike, put it on Tristan's. He had to ride 20 minutes back into where he crashed.
So
and he still-
a course marshal had to do this, or
a course marshal, when they come back, he rotated back to the pits,
Mm-hmm.
20 minutes,
yeah.
sat and waited for one of the sweepers to come in,
Yeah.
said, can we borrow your hose?
Oh,
so he
geez.
stripped it off his bike, put it on Tristan's bike.
No way.
He rode back out 20 minutes to exactly where he crashed,
And then
still
continue
got
from there.
second and was catching the first place.
Holy moly! Yeah, it's absolutely just mental. But speaking of mental, you're just doing all kinds of events this year. So you did Red Bull Rocks and Logs, and then you had a plan for WildRose.
Yeah.
So you actually have never seen this.
No, I don't think
This
so.
is new footage we had. We've been having a lot of
Rain,
we had a lot of
rain
video.
seems to follow me around
yeah,
for some reason.
63 in the
Rain-
background.
63. Yeah, he's all done up. So anyways, you guys had just
A
an
little
absolute
bit of snow and rain. wasn't there?
yeah, a little absolute monsoon rain fest that went down there.
But I must admit, the first race we went on to was just superb. I know it was at WildRose, so
Yeah.
everybody's going, oh, it's going to be a motocross and everything. But with the rain and the mud,
Yeah.
it really felt like an off-road
Yeah, I
race.
think that worked into
I know
our
the
favor as
second
far
race,
as
we
that
all
was.
knew it was going to dry up if it didn't rain anymore, and it did turn.
Yeah.
The motocross tracks were primo.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a motocross, you could really go. Even I was really enjoying it and
Well,
hitting the bigger jumps. I know you cut out a lot of the big jumps,
Yeah.
which was a good idea, but even the second moto, I was really enjoying myself. It did feel more like a moto then, but we're supposed to be off-road riders, so it's great the variation
Yeah.
of what we're riding.
Yeah, and
So
that's
it gives everybody a chance to peak and trough. And
Yeah.
Well, we had pro motocross guys that showed up, and they're like, "This is amazing."
Yeah.
And they did a 30-minute moto.
45.
So they did two 45-minute,
Yeah.
and then they had a break in between with the Pee-wees and Wells there.
Yeah.
But what people like, looks pretty nice right now. It was literally a blizzard in the morning for an hour during sign up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And everyone's just humming and hawing. And I've been there where you're at the tracks, not like we're out in the mountains. You're like, we're running it. It's here. Like we're gonna do the event.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty good. This is one of the log sections in the original Rocks and Logs. There was a hot line we saw on the right-hand side. Some people were taking. We had some disqualification or penalties that we had to put down, keep things fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was there you go, hotline. Who's that? Disqualified,
Take his
429.
number.
That may be Rad Elder, I don't know.
But considering the weather you had in the morning, it was only that cold,
Yeah.
which was a bit of a dampener because when
Yeah.
you'd done your 45, you wanted to get in the van, get the heater on.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the weather, it made it more off-road like.
Yeah.
It deterred some riders from coming, like a lot of the locals that were going to come. But I think that the people that did show up, we still had 170 riders,
Yeah.
so it was good.
I think, was the feedback good? Everybody
Yeah,
I
we were
talked to
happy with
enjoyed
it. I haven't
Yeah,
heard
it was wicked.
anything real negative.
No.
So Josh Bridge must be a friend of yours, says you're ugly.
Well, he's worse, and he's younger than me. So what's
have
he
it-
going
you have
to
it-
grow into?
You have it straight from that. How old is Josh? He's 15, 18.
Is he talking about 40 or you?
Yeah.
No, he said Steven. Yeah,
Oh,
no, we're
Steven.
good.
It's
We're
me.
good.
I know he's throwing abuse at.
It's coming. But yeah, no.
But the conditions were just superb.
Oh,
for
it was
that race.
amazing. No dust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just
It worked out
superb.
great.
But yeah,
Yeah, the whole idea mainly behind it was try something new.
Yeah.
It's been done in some form or other. With Corner Grass kind of started it all, and then Dave French took that race over and has that facility in Brooks that they're putting on.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
our idea was kind of the similar thing. Like we're trying to just run a one-day event and kind of establish some relationships with some facilities because with a lot of the land issues that we have going on here,
Well, there's huge.
we
huge
figured we
interest,
better
too.
start to figure this out.
Yeah,
you
there's
know,
been
and-
huge interest that have come by.
Yeah. And we're trying to also promote the off-road within the community because
and you never know, some
WildRose
motocrossers might like.
yeah, there's
come and
such
do a
a
couple.
because of the facility is right in the middle of
Yeah.
Calgary. We have a pretty big following in Calgary, you know, and with that facility there, it was an easy way to. I think we probably had about 30 motocross guys come out and try it out and see what
I
off-road's
think the
about.
numbers,
Ride a
I
little
think the
bit
numbers
longer.
were down because there was also the
There was a
motocross
awards
presentation.
banquet that
Yeah.
banquet was on, so that knocked a few down, but.
Yeah.
That was good. So I'm going to take a quick cut from this. Thank one of our sponsors, Ride Hard Designs. Ride Hard Designs has been a huge key for Dirt Bike
okay.
News and a lot of our stuff.
How do you know then?
They do a lot of our design. Yeah. So Ride Hard Designs by riders for riders. Your bike or ride is an extension of who you are. Where were we? Who you are, and that I don't know. I should, and that you should show. Ride Hard Design's mission is to bring a new line of personal and custom graphics to your action sports industry. From concept to finished design, we will ensure each piece is unique to you as an athlete or a weekend warrior. Look good, ride hard. So rideharddesigns.com. Again, they've been a huge part of Dirt Bike News, done a lot of our design, a lot of our banners, posters.
Yeah. They've
Amza,
done my banner, done my
Yeah.
personal sticker,
Dirt
or
Bike,
design
Dirt
from
Bike
the
News
sticker.
snuck themselves on there. I saw how
I
that
see
happened.
that. I don't know how he had the connection to get himself on there.
But yeah, Ride Hard Designs, they're great. They do rider profiles, dirt bike flyers,
Yeah.
a lot of graphic stuff like that.
Anything really design and printing.
Yeah, no, it's been
Like
great.
I said, done our banner for me and Melissa,
Yeah,
and then Jordana done the designs on mine and Melissa's personal logos.
yeah, cool.
So all turned out.
Got
good,
your
so-
ugly smug on there.
No,
No, it's helmet, right?
We didn't do that.
Perfect.
We didn't want to frighten kids and old people.
And then this is actually from Shane's. These were amazing. So these were actually done and designed and made by your wife.
By Shane.
Yep.
Yeah, by Shane. No, he cut the wood because it's square. He just
No, I didn't cut the wood either.
no, she did everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
really?
made the sprockets. He was in the
Yeah.
garage.
So how'd you
grinding
get the
away, making all
sprockets into the top of the wood?
It's top secret, man.
Just the vice press it in. So I saw them. They were like for Huskies and they're 15 tooth or something. I saw.
Yeah.
And then didn't
SRT actually sponsored
Yeah,
them.
it
Yeah.
donated all these. So, yeah, that was pretty cool to see all these trophies, and they all actually had they had little sayings on it. So he said, "Don't follow me, you won't make it. Just gonna send it. That one's mine. Eat, sleep, ride, repeat." And there's actually some old man ones on here. And then you were just passed by a girl, so which is true. We have a lot of the women expert. Melissa, Chantel, Lexi, Suzanne, Jenny, Kristen. Yeah, all the girls are just doing absolutely amazing out there. So, yeah, these are really, really, really cool. Absolutely jealous. But right after your event, 2 days later, it just snowed. It literally blizzarded. So this is 2 days after your race happened. Yeah. And yeah, it was literally, I think, as we were tearing down the night before, it was still snowing. But yeah, and it was a beautiful day out. I think it was like 10, 15 degrees. And, you know, it still just happened to snow, I think 5 inches or so just after the night before. You can see Calgary in the background. So yeah, this is WildRose motocross track 2 days after. So you did a Saturday? Yeah, we did a Saturday. Yeah. And then look at the snow accumulation.
Yeah, we definitely lucked out. Yeah, we knew it was coming, and even when we were cleaning up on Sunday, washing down all of our equipment, and it was freezing as we were. All the lines in the park were frozen.
Oh, geez, really?
My trailer was frozen when I went to dump. I was just like, it was coming. So we just snuck it in.
So next year, doing it again.
It is on the schedule again.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
choosing a better month for weather, August.
Yeah,
I see it's downfall.
That's where we're at.
It's gonna snow every month in the year, no matter when we have a race, or it's just gonna be bone dry, or whatever it may be. Yeah, no, that was a pretty awesome race. This one, beach race. This is a little bit different.
Last round of the West.
Yeah, last round of the West. So Johnny was unable to compete in this. He got hurt at Megawatt. He took a huge digger.
Broke his arm.
Yeah, he broke his arm. Yeah, he ragged all on a fast section. Yeah, this West Series is huge. A lot of guys here watch this. And actually, you had Manuel Lettenbrecher came for Red Bull Rocks and Logs, which is really neat that our guys got to compete against him in Enduro Cross. Yeah. And he does, I think, did he win last year's? No, Johnny won last year's Super Enduro. One or the other.
Manny's won a junior.
He won the junior. That was a few years ago.
Yeah.
He was in the main stuff.
Yeah. I think he'll be up there. He seems to be riding a lot better this year.
Super Enduro?
Who did?
Colton.
Oh, Colton. Yes, that's right.
But not last
No, Colton got it last year. Yeah, he did his huge rev and everything.
Cody.
But
it was one of them two.
Oh, Cody Webb was second.
Was he?
Yeah. Cody Webb was second.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a.
That's the Swedish one, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the
knockout. It rained a bit.
So
this is like the first race at the WildRose.
Yeah. So this is probably one of the muddiest races I've ever seen in my life.
They reckon there was like 100k winds when they were racing.
No, they were. You'll see it in this video. You'll see the trees bending over. Yeah. They were like 100-foot trees, and they're bending halfway. But yeah, I was just like absolutely miserable. And they said, "No, we're running it." And you're under Red Bull, so I guess you're kind of at Red Bull saying, "We're doing this. We're going."
He's gonna run.
Yeah. So yeah, Billy Bolt, Manuel, they're battling it out. They're doing pretty good in this series. Yeah, it was kind of neat because they had kind of other things going on in that whole series, all the different wet, and then we come to the beach race, which was the knockout, and then this race, it was last year or the year before. They had to take down anything that was standing up because the winds were getting up to 100, 120 kilometers an hour.
On this beach, yeah.
Yeah, so this year they were able to have all the Red Bull stuff up. Last year it was like they had to take everything down. Yeah. But yeah, it's absolutely pretty amazing race. I don't, you have 600 guys out there at the same time or whatever it was.
1,000 to begin with. Then they knock it down to 750 for the final.
Yeah, they have to.
And it's a gate start.
Yeah, mass gate start in your second row or whatever it is. So this is in the West Series, the Red Bull knockout.
Yeah,
which is the random bike laying in the middle of the track.
But some of the Europeans are pretty good because they got the Western Beach Race in the UK. They got
they both.
Is Le Touquet still?
I don't know if Le Touquet still.
There's another big beach race.
A couple of them.
Because David Knight done them both in the Suzuki. So.
Yeah. But yeah, what are your? Oh, look at the flip. Yeah. But, so what are your thoughts on that? You've done ISD, so you haven't done anything this crazy, but I'm sure, when you guys did ISD, you guys had some massive ruts,
Yeah.
depending on what row you were in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a completely, bottlenecks and bottlenecks and bottlenecks. That's part
Yeah.
of this racing, which is
Yeah, something
absolutely
like this
mental.
would be way out of my wheelhouse, especially being from Western Canada. We don't have a whole lot of sand. Anytime I see sand, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know.
Just lean back and
Oh.
just close your eyes and hope you have enough power.
Yeah, for about
But
3
it's
minutes.
really cool to watch some of the really good sand riders ride comparative to what the rest of the riders look like.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable.
Because we're like the other riders.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah,
got like that Nathan Watson who won it.
Yeah,
who's
they just float on
demolishing
that stuff.
it.
And
Yeah.
how
you
they
think,
put the power to the ground. It's
Well,
really
and
cool.
they're-
This guy here,
Yeah,
like,
when they're on the power,
Berlin's,
they're
yeah.
they're literally their back end is just dancing. They're basically hydroplaning across the water.
yeah.
And a lot of times you saw them, they wanted to get closer to the water because the ground was firmer.
harder, yeah.
However, they could hit a sand
water, yeah.
dish out or something
Yeah.
that was a little softer.
yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty crazy to see.
Yeah,
That
that's
type of, like,
awesome.
750
You just
stars.
hold
That's
the
the
back
kind of
wheel everywhere.
riders,
Yeah,
like
so
that makes me very jealous as a promoter of big events. I'm like, we don't even have 1,000 riders in all of Western Canada to begin with.
to get them all there.
Yeah, but in Europe, they're
But
so crazy about their
yeah.
events.
Yeah.
They show up in droves, and the spectators are crazy, and it's such a great atmosphere.
But it's funny because Europe's pretty environmentally on the ball as well, but
Yeah.
they still hold these big events.
I think that's why they get so many riders, because they can't ride anywhere else.
Well,
So when
yeah,
there's
you're on
something
usually
big, they get really
private
pumped
land
to,
or motocross tracks, and then the big events they get special mission to go on stuff like this. But it must take a lot of liaisons and
yeah. And I think that's the draw. I
Yeah.
think that's why I think that's why they can get 1,000
Yeah.
riders at a race like this,
and I
or
think
1,000
Romania
riders
is
at
decent block. They
or
don't
2,000
care.
riders at
Yeah.
Erzberg, because those
Yeah.
guys can't ride anywhere in
No.
Austria or any of the countries around there. So.
Well, and Romaniacs too. Like they go over a lot of land there too.
Yeah,
And then they're part of
but Romaniacs is a lot
yeah.
looser.
On the
Like you can basically ride down the city, or you used
Yeah,
to be able to ride
yeah.
down the city streets, and that was just common, everyday kind of thing, right? But
So next up we have the Gotland Grand National. Foord even know
That
about
was a
this
wet one. What would I know about
Was
this one?
this is the wet one? Yeah. So
That's
this,
the wet
this was one of the wettest races I've ever witnessed. And a lot of these guys, when they're talking, like they're just like, this was miserable. We just wanted it to end.
They all ended up the same colour, didn't they? Didn't matter
Yeah, I
what gear you got on. You just-
I don't even know how you score keep or do anything like that. Like absolutely mental. Manuel with his nice mustache coming in.
And Taddy was the best one of the West Championship riders on
Yeah,
this
he
one.
was.
It was
All the
it was
locals- all the
were
locals
all
just
the top, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. But this is old school mud that you guys used to ride through in the 90s and 80s and stuff like this, right?
Why are you looking
Yeah.
at me? I'm not that old, am I?
Okay. Seasoned.
Oh,
now we don't have to worry about that, because unless it's on private land, you can't
wouldn't be
run a
doing
race
that.
and
Yeah.
destroy the land like that anymore. But
But yeah, it's something like that is just phenomenal.
But
Oh,
that
that's a
is
nice
that is
hotline
after
there.
so many years as well. They've been riding this at the same
Yeah.
place,
yeah,
and then they must do club meets there as well. So if they
but
keep
you
getting
can
these
see-
big turnouts.
Yeah, you can see the trees, how windy it
Yeah.
was, and the weather in there, and they're all riding this. Absolutely, just craziness. I don't think we've had any huge races like that muddy here, anyways. So,
MRSI.
years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago.
I do remember, when I first kind of became pro, which is many years ago now. Like we used to race all the time in that, and I'm sure Steve, I'm being from the UK.
Okay.
You guys were always in the wet.
Well, I didn't wear goggles for a full race until I come to Canada
Yeah.
because
Wow.
it was raining, so you just throw your goggles off.
Yeah.
You couldn't wear you tear offs anyway because you're on MOD.
Are
land
those
or
trails
private land.
like a little bit wider than like the races you guys have there? You don't have like the whackers and everything you have here?
It depends. The trees are a lot further because they're more like beech and oak and big trees.
Oh, okay.
So you got you got a lot of bracken you're going through, so you can't.
Yeah.
You've only got the narrow string. Or we're on MOD land, which was tank training and stuff. So it was just, there was a lot of sand
Okay.
stuff as well. So, but always wet.
So another thing that happened this year was the Corduroy Enduro. This is pretty awesome. So this is one of the biggest races in Ontario that happens. We had a huge crew that came out from
was it, about
Alberta and
12?
BC. Yeah, and this is Jordan Reed here. He went and raced pro. This video was from Howard Lawrence. It's
okay,
Bonnie
yeah.
Brown, Luke Sador was on there. So this is a 3-day or 2-day event, I believe.
2-day, but they're making it 3 next year for this national. What
Yeah,
we're talking
we're
about
gonna
later.
talk about that. It's
Yeah, I
coming
know.
up. We're talking about that now. Yeah, this is absolutely crazy how they go across all these lands. This is all transfer sections. This is all time. So what happens is you're going to ride and you'll come up to a gate and then you get scanned in and then you have.
Then you've got to do it as quick as you can.
Yeah,
and then
you have
get
a
scanned
transfer
at the other
section,
end,
yeah.
so, and then
So-
you get transferred to the next special test.
Yeah, so what you do is you can if you show up early, you have to wait for your minute, and if you're late, you get carried on.
I don't
from
know. I
wherever.
know proper time card endurers, you have to do that, but like me and Melissa went and done the Ladore, you had to start on your, out of the park firm, you had to start on your minute, but they didn't care when you done your special tests, and everything was going to shut at 5 p.m.
Okay.
If you hadn't finished, everybody's walking out at 5 p.m. So you had to get everything done. So you could do your first special test, you'd sit there and have a snack because they had a petrol stop, and then you just get to have your rest of that. Some blokes were laying there and having a sleep,
Yeah.
and then they go off and finish. But at 5 p.m. everything was shut, everybody was back, and then they had the results done
And then you went to another one down there. You
That
went
was
to one.
Ladore.
Oh, Ladore. Okay.
in Quebec.
Yeah.
Same thing
Same-
with
same
the
kind
same.
of thing.
Yeah, so you had a transition down, first special test, then you had a fuel stop where you could rest, have something to eat, have a drink, fill up with fuel, then go a little transition, then you went to a second test, and they had so many tests you had to get done in the day, and that was a 2-day like this. So
Yeah, so I guess in the morning you couldn't start your bike at all. You had to grab your bike in the paddock, go to
well, you at the Dore you could start the bike and warm it up, and then you had to just push it up to the start. And
I
when
think
they
this
waved
one they
it, you
use
went.
kind of more
ISD,
traditional
yeah.
ISD rules.
Yeah,
Like
you're not
you
allowed
have
to-
like a
apart
10
from
minutes in the
a-
morning to work on your
Yeah.
bike and 15 at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Then it's locked up in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. I believe I have seen like a Park Ferme in pictures, and
Yeah, they do.
I'm not
yeah.
sure how they work the special tests, but I don't think it's a timekeeping anymore. But it's kind of a different system.
Well, the one at the Ladore, they set it with a clock, and you had a carbon paper in a plastic bag, which you duct tape to the front fender.
Oh, really?
And they
Old school.
said, they'll go in every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So you were 10, 10, and 30 seconds. They write 10, 10, 30 seconds. You do the special test, and when you come out the end, there's 2 other people there. They write what time the clock.
Okay.
So it could be 10, 20, 30 or whatever,
Right,
32.
right.
And then they just adjusted it. You counted up the seconds. And I
Yeah.
think this one, they were saying they're actually scanning it with phones.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had a scan on your
Yeah,
front
they scan
number.
each guy with a phone.
So
and
as
then
soon
you
as
carry
when
on.
you start, they scan you. When you come at the end, they
Yeah.
scan you, and it automatically done updates.
Oh, that's cool.
So
So we
Yeah.
had Jeffrey Bond said great event at WildRose. That was his actually first event for his son and him.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
ever
That's
off road.
awesome.
Yeah, he had a
that
riot.
time Jeffrey come to off road.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming.
Keep tarting around as a man. What's the matter with him?
Trying to be a motocrosser.
Trying to be.
I loved
didn't say
watching
that.
this boy ride around. It was really fun. to
Yeah, he's a
watch.
little guy.
Yeah.
Cool. And then next up we have Tristan Hart won the West Canada Hare Scramble overall series
Yeah, championship.
while missing the last 2 rounds, I believe.
Yeah.
He was so far ahead in the
Yeah,
in the points.
with
that
his
he-
injuries.
Yeah, that he had won. So yeah, it's wicked with SRT, and he's currently hunting for a team to race on, from what I've heard. So that's pretty
He'll get
pretty
picked
interesting
up.
coming up. Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. And he raced against Cody Webb on the last round, but he was going against
Max Gerson was the main,
Max Gerson,
and another
the
bloke.
guy who knocked himself out at
At what?
he was a desert race. He knocked himself out.
Yeah.
Roberts.
Is it? Yeah. there
Taylor
was a-
Roberts.
Taylor Roberts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was the one on yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty awesome for Tristan to win that.
And then he had some other great results down there. Like we said, TKO, he got sick. I
Yeah,
think.
TKO he did 6, and he's made that list.
Last dog standing. He beat Taylor Roberts on that one. He's on the podium.
And this is from Tristan's
Crash.
Instagram. So this is his crash. Have you
Yeah.
seen this?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was we.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I didn't really know how he went down, but we saw where he was
He just
after.
spun off the log.
Yeah,
didn't he?
it looked like he came in, he had too much momentum, and then his back end just slipped off. And yeah, it was bad. Kyle Redmond went out there and helped him out. It's Kyle Redmond right here on the left. But yeah, amazing. He got up and he's like, "Yeah, that hurt. I'm just gonna walk off the track." But yeah, that's huge. And then now he's riding again. He's training, doing all this
Is
stuff.
he back
I
riding?
don't think he's back riding.
He's not
yet.
riding? No?
Not quite yet.
Tristan,
New year.
get riding. We want to see some new videos. So again, yeah, this was he's chasing first here.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just slipped off.
It was too bad because he had so much momentum
Yeah.
this year, and
It's going to be a big year.
He did
again.
really good though. Like
Yeah, he
he
had some
ended
really good
absolutely
results.
amazing on.
I think he would have done really well in the Enduro Cross.
I think
series
really
as well.
he's the only one who can fight with Cody
Yeah,
and Colton.
those top two
Them
guys,
two are
yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
And he's the only one who can hang on to the tail.
Yeah.
And I think Cody and Colton know he's the one
Yeah.
Coming
they
up.
got to watch out for now.
Yeah. Well, and Kyle Redmond was on his team, SRT team, so they're always
And
training
then Corey
together,
come back later on, didn't he? Corey Grafunda.
Yeah.
He had a broken ankle from last dog standing when he
Yeah,
come off
he
the
fell.
teeter-totter.
Yeah, 6 or more than 6
Landed,
feet
yeah.
down, flat
Yeah.
landed. And another kind of hard enduro race is the Sticks and
That's the
Stones.
sticks and stones, yeah.
Yes.
That's a run to bike to start.
Yeah, or we'll go back. We'll go back
Well,
here.
we were lined up, and I was next to two, I don't know, they must have been late teenager, early 20, and they looked at me and go, "You running?" I said, "No, I ain't running." So I walked over and got my bike. Oh, this is stupid.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
yeah,
that
they
looks really
parade,
neat.
parade everyone through the
Well,
town.
no, it's the thing is because you're at the top of a ski hill.
Yeah.
Where you park is down the bottom of the lodge, and you've got to go up through public roads.
Oh, okay.
So everybody has to go up at the same time and follow a van.
Oh, okay.
To get
So
your
they
bike
take
up.
everybody up there, and then when you're done, you have to sit up there until the last person's off the mountain, and then they escort you all back down through the town.
Oh, okay, okay.
So luckily there's a ski lodge up there where you can go and sit and get a burger and a drink and that.
Drink
cool.
till the end of the day. This is a 2-day event?
Yeah, because the Saturday was the BC classes, and then Sunday was the pros and the A vets and the experts and stuff.
Yeah. How
So-
far is that from here? Then?
It's about an hour and a half below Coeur d'Alene.
Oh, so it's not
So
that
it's
far
about
then.
8
eh?
hours. It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Really
I'd love
good
to go
fun.
check that out.
I
It looks
think-
like a nice setup. Like it
Oh,
kind
it's
of
all
brings
that-
back memories of Panorama
It's-
when I've
well,
seen the ski
it's-
resort.
You go to think, oh, it's going to be like Panorama. You hardly touch any roads.
Yeah.
You were just flat out on rocks and horrible stuff. And you get big stuff, which is a bit like the maze runner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's other bits under the trees where the rocks are smaller, but they're just so slippery.
Oh, okay. But that's more the idea. It's meant to be sort of a hard enduro style.
This is supposed to be a hard one. And then
Yeah.
next year, they were on about where at the end of this one, they were on about like next year they might run it a bit more like TKO, where you have the qualifiers on the Saturday.
Okay.
And then Sunday
And then
is
you
just the
have
main
ranked
guys.
riders, and then so many people, if
Oh,
they make
cool.
it, they qualify to a morning race, and then they
Yeah.
do the final in the afternoon. A bit
Greg's,
like Rev Limiter
Greg's
as well.
Graveyard, that's a good one.
That looks a lot like
That
your
looks
race
exactly
almost.
like the left-hander.
But it was surprising how slippery that
I like
rock
how they
was.
marked it with the
Yeah.
paint on the
With the
rocks
paint,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. But it was surprising how slippery that. Where the maze runner was pretty grippy
Yeah.
rocks, they were really surprising how slippery that was.
Huh.
Really?
So
You
it
can
might have
still
been
see all
just
the
that bit of
snow.
dampness in the soil that was coming through, and the rocks under the trees seemed to be a little bit like that greasy shine on it.
Yeah.
So
No, that's awesome. I mean, I've always, we used to travel all over the world doing all these hard enduros, and now they're
Yeah,
kind of in our
damn it.
backyard
Yeah,
now. So it's
yeah.
like you really got to get out there and take advantage of it.
So yeah, like March is first weekend of March is at Rev Limiter down in Texas,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
looked pretty good.
Yeah, that'll be pretty awesome.
pretty
That's
good
at
fun.
the same place as Last Man
Wait, is
Standing.
that where it
right?
is?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Oh, same area.
And then this lot's-
I even recalled some of the same obstacles, like coming out the
was
gullies
it?
and gulches.
Okay,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I've been there. Like,
So
and it was, it looks pretty cool.
I think there might be a crew going down there from
Yeah, I'm
Canada this year, because I think last year was Spencer, Cole,
Yeah.
Shelby done good, didn't she? She made it to the Sunday.
Yeah.
And then BC lot went down, Malcolm Hare, Dave from Vernon, who does that Reverend.
Oh,
Dave
Chambers. Yeah.
He drove down and took
Yeah,
a
for,
load of bikes, about 8 bikes, and they all
Yeah,
and the people
someone
flew
lost,
down.
Someone lost their chain.
So-
There's your chain, buddy.
So
Put it
yeah,
back
so
on.
they all come back and really said it was good fun.
Oh, that's not good.
What race is this in?
This is Sticks and Stones.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
You don't remember that part?
I didn't
40?
get to this part.
No.
I had to pull out with my guts.
That was. It looks like they put a lot of work into it. Like
Yeah.
The it looks like
Well,
it's.
you said
really
Tristan
well
said
done.
it was kind of one of the harder races he's done.
One of them.
Yeah.
Ask him about TKO.
Yeah, TKO is absolutely that's an absolutely amazing race. Hopefully we can get a lot of Canadians down there this year.
Yeah,
But like you said, it might be part of a national
Well,
Enduro series, right? We don't
last
know.
year it was sort of a final to their unofficial enduro, hard enduro series. The TK was, and then if you'd run the Rev Limiter or Last Dog Standing and you won your class, you got an entry into the TKO.
Yeah,
I think that's how it was run last year.
We have Devin Boudreau. Shane, anything new for Rocks and Logs 2019? Special
Oh,
guest.
there's the question. Reveal.
I don't know.
Exclusive.
I think you do know. You're
Man.
just not going to tell
No,
us.
I don't
We could
know.
have had an exclusive there.
I know that we are working on some new stuff with Red Bull. So I do know there's going to be an event.
There's going to be something.
Hopefully in Calgary.
Cool. Okay.
At Red Bull.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I know that I'm going to be involved in some form, but yeah, things are still in the early stages of kind of some conceptual stuff. So, but pretty exciting stuff. Some of the stuff that we're talking about and we're working on is a really big deal.
Big purses, bigger names, different style
Or are they
racing,
just trying to-
Yeah.
all the above.
Yeah,
Can't say
pretty
anything.
much.
Okay.
Yeah. It
Are
could
they
be,
trying to take it to
could be a
another
game
level
changer
kind of
for
thing?
sure.
To a world
Yeah.
stage?
That's definitely
event.
on their radar for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Canadian manager for events, he's a fanatic. He loves hard enduro.
Yeah.
They love being in Calgary, especially with Red Bull Rocks and Logs, and so it's kind of an evolution of Red Bull Rocks and Logs for sure. So, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. But like I say, the track still stays at WildRose, and
Well, and everyone like comes there and trains and
Yeah.
rides it. Like they can ride basically this week and all that's been warm enough. So
Yeah.
that's been
You just,
really, really
the track's
awesome.
open with studs, isn't it?
yeah.
You just got to have studs. You can go out there and pound it.
Go cheat on the enduro cross track with your
Get
your
up the
studs.
logs.
Yeah,
The rocks are
I'll
gonna
go
be
there. I'll
fun.
do a race on studs.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we said, TKO.
Yeah.
The list has been.
Yep.
This got sent out.
Tristan's pre-registered,
Yeah.
and so is Kevin Dupuis.
So it's pretty good. And they actually
And Spencer.
this talks about amateur program and things like that they're doing. So that's kind of neat that they have coming out. Huge $10,000 purse for expert riders. This is pretty cool event that they have. One of the harder ones that you said.
Well, Tristan was the one. He said it was a really tough event, and with the humidity and heat on top,
Yeah, it's just.
he said it makes another dimension.
Yeah.
So
But the actual go, and if you watch all the videos, it's just so green and slippery. Everything is.
we have the list here. We'll bring it up on our other screen here. There we go.
That's
Yeah.
all the riders that
So
are
this is all the
already
riders.
confirmed?
Which are no,
Allowed
they're
to
the
race
ones
in
who like pre-qualified for the Sunday.
Oh.
They don't have to qualify.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Cody
So,
Webb, Cole
the
Hinker.
ones from Canada will be Tristan, Spencer Wilton, and,
Yeah.
and Kevin Dupuis
Okay.
are
A
on that
huge,
list.
huge list. A lot of top guys. Jeff Aaron.
They've put a lot of people on there on the West Series as well. If you look on there, Billy Bolts,
Yeah,
and
Paul
Wade
Bolton.
Young and all that, Paul Bolton and that,
Cooper Abbott. That would be amazing. Alfredo Gomez.
Blue Zach, with Teddy's on there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's pretty cool that we have this huge event coming. That's gonna be neat.
yeah.
So Tristan, get better. We want you to go down there and win this thing. It'll be pretty good to go see. Interesting thing that happened in the industry news here. Let's drop us down. Alta Motors reportedly shut down a month ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely
It's crazy.
That was out of the blue.
blew the socks off everything. Which is interesting with this is because Ty Tremaine was on Alta. He was actually at Rocks and Logs on his Alta.
Yeah.
He podiumed.
Yeah,
I
he
believe
got third.
Yeah. So he podiumed on that, and then all of a
And then
sudden
he just got a podium at an enduro cross round
Yeah.
on the Alta. Then
Yeah.
that was Saturday night,
Yeah.
and nearly the Monday was.
That
so,
was it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
well, for people who don't know, Ty Tremaine races all Enduro Cross, and he did Erzberg on it. I saw that he did Erzberg on that
Yeah.
bike. And literally Monday, shops closed. He needs to pick up his bike Thursday to go to Enduro Cross. Doesn't have a ride.
Yeah.
So
You got a decent bike.
yeah, yeah, and then Ty Tremaine goes and picks up a beta.
Beta, and then puts it on
And-
the podium.
Yeah, he ended up putting it on the podium. So that was pretty cool. He's podiumed before, but
Yeah, that's
Just-
because Tristan won there.
Tremaine, I hope you're watching. But to go from I don't know if he switches bikes or if he goes to different bikes or if he's always on this Alta, but to switch during the week.
He would, yeah, that was a big change because I think he's
Yeah.
been putting in the hours on that Alta to.
Yeah, I
Get
didn't
it
even
set up
notice
and-
it was he's riding a two-stroke as well.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
302 stroke.
'Cause,
Yeah,
before he was on the Alta, it was four strokes.
well,
much with
yeah,
the
because of the
RPM team,
RPM
right?
team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if he. I think it was a 300.
Yeah, it's a 300.
There it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good for him.
yeah,
Yeah.
for him to just pick it up
Yeah.
and
To go
ride
and
it and
do
do
that.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's absolutely pretty cool to see. What else do we have on our schedule here? Oh, we have Rocks and Logs highlight.
You made the schedule.
Yeah. Here's the video I was looking for. This is the Rocks and Logs video we had. This is out of Step Media. I think this is Gino might have made this
Oh, is it?
from Blackfoot Direct. I don't know if he did or not. I think it's him.
I have no idea.
But yeah, awesome event. Excited for next year. That'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. And
Everyone's really happy that you brought beer gardens in. Honestly, that's where
that was the best place to
that's where
ride past
everyone
because
is,
they were really into it this year. The beer garden.
It worked out. I mean, we ended up shortening the track, but that's kind of what we wanted to
Yeah.
keep the racing action closer.
Yeah.
And with the beer gardens, it just allowed us to open up some more space for spectators.
It was about
And we-
6-7
and-
deep down there. Wasn't
Yeah, it was
and they were
pretty
vocal.
popular.
They were good to.
Yeah. And we kind of put it in one of the more spectacular areas right in front of Fordy's Nightmare, we call it. So
Yeah.
aptly named after Steve.
That's because you leave me unattended for an hour and a half.
I did, yeah. But look, I mean, the creation was worth it.
That was your crib? Or
That's
crib,
the
crib,
checkered board with
crib rock, crib
rocks
rock,
and
whatever it
no
was.
rocks.
I
And,
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shane didn't when he come over.
No.
when he first saw it.
Well, now we went up the waterfall. I don't have your
Yeah.
crash on here. I should have put that
Nah.
on there.
And then with the wet weather and that clay, that made it so slippery. Didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it dries out. And then
Yeah, it
it's
dries
perfect
out.
again, doesn't it? It dries
Yeah.
out so quick because there's a nice sun and bit of breeze and
Yeah.
it dries
Well,
it
you
out
guys,
so
you
quick.
guys were looking for, I don't know if you had pumps, you're waiting for it, or if you had to go get pumps. I
We
don't know.
had pumps and
Yeah.
we were pumping water on Saturday.
Well, were they there
Yeah.
waiting, or did you have to go get them?
We had WildRose had some. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you had it and you're waiting for bad weather, that's the reason. it
No, I
rained,
mean, we were thinking about going to rent
but,
some, but
Ty Tremaine, that's on his
Ultra.
Alta, he no longer owns.
Yeah. On that Saturday, I had the gas team in my garage prepping their bikes. I had Sam King and Noah Keppel.
yeah,
Oh, that's
the
awesome.
gas guys, yeah.
Yeah, there's
That's
this
Phil
huge gap.
Shaney from Quebec was just doing
Yeah.
a jump there. It was really cool to watch Manny ride though, like just his bike control. I didn't actually think he was that good of an enduro cross. I knew he was a good rider, but I didn't realize he was that good.
But he's been getting some good results in the Super Enduro, and they're a lot tougher tracks than the AMA stuff.
Yeah, right, more technical.
And he's a really aggressive rider from what I've seen too. He will really put himself in there. Not as much as Ty Tremaine was in the log pit. He kind of landed on guys' bikes every now and then.
Yeah.
But
If you leave the gap, they're going to come through.
Yeah, no.
So
Manny barely put a foot wrong, and I actually really enjoyed visiting with him. He's a super nice kid.
yeah,
I used to race against his dad, Andreas, and the one year I was at Romaniacs, he won it on a BMW,
yeah.
and basically the only reason he won it was because the rest of us, including like Cyril Dupree and Bolton and everybody, kind of gave up on this one last hill on
was
the
it?
very
Yeah.
last day.
Oh, well.
And Andreas just like put his head
Kept going,
down
yeah.
and he just
Got it out
and like seriously, he showed up at the finish like 2 hours later.
All right, but he finished it.
And we're like, there's no way you did that. And he's like, yeah.
Oh, by himself.
And yeah, so then
He got the check
rest
at
of
the
us,
top, yeah.
because he did it,
Yeah.
the rest of us all got like excessive penalties
Yeah.
to account for the time that he spent doing this thing all by himself.
Oh,
So
man.
I was laughing at Manny because I was telling him like, your dad was awesome back in the day. He's like, yeah, I know. And he's,
doesn't he,
he's a pretty modest.
Spanner for Manny now.
Yeah,
isn't he?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
So our next video here we have is video. Come on, 40.
What?
Put it on there.
Put what on there? Oh, it's the rev limiter.
Yeah,
Vernon.
so this is the rev limiter. This was pretty cool because
The
it was
CXCC.
yeah, right in the trees.
Yeah.
This is right off the start. You guys
Because the
came in here.
Saturday was the Enduro Cross.
Yeah.
And then the Sunday was the harescramble. Very fast.
Yeah, very fast.
A lot of fire roads.
Yeah, this is the section I got to. And
Yeah,
it
this is
was
the very first, isn't it? Very
Yeah.
first bit. Yeah.
little Rudy. She got a little deep in there.
But they did cut some more trails in this year, like more single track type
But
stuff.
it was still pretty quick.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Yeah,
still
that's
pretty
what I've,
quick.
that's what
I
I've
think
heard.
they're a little bit limited because of the ski hill.
Right.
I think they might be more limited than when we went to Pano
Okay.
because we're not at Pano this year or
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah,
in 2019.
But yeah, this was part of the CXCC series.
CXCC is the last
So,
round.
Yeah, that was pretty neat to
Yeah.
see.
There's peak keeping right there, I think.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah,
we'll
it's
see.
good fun event again on a ski hill. So you
Yeah,
got
the
all
only
the
downside is-
bars and the restaurants and
Yeah.
So
the only downside, this was the same weekend as Corduroy Enduro, so it kind of
same weekend as Corduroy, and then there was an Enduro Cross on at the same time as well. So, and it's going to be the same next year because the Corduroy dates are out and the AMA Enduro Cross dates are out, and there's a round. So
Same weekend.
same weekend
Oh,
as an
shoot.
AMA and the Corduroy, but all the classes except Pro can drop one at the AMA Enduro Cross.
Okay.
So it's only the pros what have got to make it all if you want to be in the championship. So.
Cool. So we have one little surprise that we had delivered to us today.
Oh, you want me to grab that?
I'll go grab. You want to grab it?
Yeah, I can grab
Can
it.
you get out?
Yeah.
After we've new chairs after the other
Yeah, we
ones
had
didn't fit?
our new chairs.
You
that
need a bigger
had
bench.
We had to put in. It's
Bigger
coming,
bar. You
it's
should have
coming.
gone all the way to the pole. What's the matter with you?
I'll put it over.
Yeah, and a bit on.
So this was early Christmas present from BRC to me. No, I
First
wish.
piece of jewelry I seen as soon as I came in. I was like,
If I
oh
did
my,
give you that.
that's what
So
I
we'll put
want.
it here, we'll move your stuff out of the way here.
That's actually your
Oh,
stuff.
that's my stuff. Grab your thing there.
Can't you
We're
squeeze
gonna-
that in the old Yamaha frame? You need a new engine.
Yeah, I do need one in there. Actually, we have a pretty good view right here. So this is a BRC 500. We did one of our videos, which the whole internet loved with all their beautiful comments. So basically what this does is throws a 500 cc cylinder Honda into your two-stroke KTM.
Husqvarna, I'm thinking.
And Husker, yeah, it's cross.
What, a 150 bottom end?
Yeah, why not? So what you do is you just take your transmission and your internals minus the crank, and you throw it into one of these bikes, and they supply absolutely everything to you. This is actually a bellow power valve. You see this more on skidoos. This is how you get it.
Yeah.
Here, you can see it.
Yeah.
This is how you get it on the right here is your bellow power valve. And just see it on skidoos, and that's how they get a power valve on this bike. With your counterbalancer shaft.
Do you need a power valve?
Yeah,
Hasn't
it's
it got
nice.
enough power or something?
No, it brings it down. It's a power reducer.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
then
That's
you
what
get to a
you're
certain
selling
point.
it like that, are you?
But we're sworn to secrecy. However, they are working on something new.
Well,
something pretty
I
cool.
just want to know when next year and Cal's out there. What class is Cal racing next year?
He's in Kids Expert.
Yeah, when he gets these
He's gonna buy one of
flat out
these.
lighting ones, he's got
Well, he has
one of them
been-
engines in there.
He is growing.
This will be on his.
He's getting older.
When I see you
And we do
taping
have-
his hands to the handlebars.
We do have a tendency to share bikes back and forth, so I'll be like, sorry, buddy, you're going from a 150 to a 500 this year.
500 now. Just hang on, boy.
So one thing that we did have is our Facebook land had a lot of interesting comments from our video. I don't know if you've seen the video. Have you seen the video?
What,
that we
for
did?
this?
Yeah.
When you're hunting them?
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
hunting for the bikes.
Yeah.
Anyways, the comments on YouTube are their YouTube comments, as you can see. Anyways, we had this guy, Cam Land, left my ass off. What is the dude wearing on his feet? So we're gonna address that right now. They're skater shoes I got. The reason I got them is because they had huge grips on the bottom of them.
They used to. How old are they now? Look at the state
They're
of
a
them.
year. I think they're a year.
Yeah.
Anyways, the reason
never taken them off, have
the
you?
reason I have these is it gets cold out in the forest when we put these races on, and my left foot was broken, and it's a lot bigger now. So skater shoes are comfortable for me. So that's why I have big shoes like this. And my feet are like size 9.
clubs.
So
Oh, is that when you guys did this video?
yeah, we did the
Oh,
BRC
okay.
video. Another one we have here. Pantera Motorsport is selling a 550 two-stroke engine, 100 horsepower, 600 USD power valve, and all that. What about a review on the engine? Would love to do a review on that.
Well, they got to get one up to you.
You got to get one to me.
In a bike?
I looked at their site. A Pantera bike, all done, sent here, is $26,000.
You're not buying it. They've got to send one up for a review.
Well, okay. Well, you can
With
take it out then.
studded tyres, and you can take it out on Ghost Lake and hit
Yeah,
the ice.
we'll take it out. Well, we're gonna have one out there. This one is funny. Why does everything have to be an MTV video? It's just the style that we had. It was something cool that we did. I don't know if you watched it, but
I'm old.
it was like it's an MTV video. But the question is, was it old MTV or now MTV? Old MTV was really good.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Mark Austin, you'll probably be needing some people to accept free engines just to gather data. I'll take one for the team. Nice job.
Good man.
Send BRC.
I like that.
Yeah, send
Gonna
BRC.
take it
video.
for the team.
Yeah, trying to get there. We have another one here. Marcus, 500 is overkill for the trails. I rode a 650 Honda on the trails. Never got out of third gear on a 200 or a 250. Perfect for the trails or open desert. He's talking about the Honda 650R. That is the stupidest motorcycle I've ever ridden. we did sidecar on that, and it's just absolutely mental. So a couple more here.
Well, I can say that one of my good friends who, you know, I have to say it kills me sometimes to say it, but his name, Paul Petrin, is called Spody.
Yes, Spody, yes.
And he's an amazing rider, but he's kind of a spode, if anybody knows what that means. but he rode a 500 for years,
Oh, did it?
and he called it Buttercup.
Yeah,
And
Buttercup is
it
fine.
really
It's
helped him
500.
develop his style that he has now.
Yeah.
And he's like an incredible rider when it comes to just riding really low end, kind of
Yeah.
the chain slapping. And the 500 was amazing. Like he could do amazing. I tried to ride it. I would cough stall it right away. And then I can get the darn thing started
Yeah.
again. And I just gave it back to him. I'm like, I'm not good enough to ride this thing. And he rode it everywhere. McLean Creek, the gnarliest sections. It was amazing. So
Yeah,
it can be done.
The 500s are amazing. The one that I had ridden was actually kind of the first edition he did. A lot of people in the video were like, why aren't you ripping on this thing? I'm like, it was literally the only one in the world.
Yeah.
And I do have the name Mitch O.G.B for crashing all this. I did not want to rip this thing out there.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a rear brake because the rear brake was the clutch. And I had no
okay.
clutch because it was a recluse.
Oh,
So
God.
that's my reasoning why I didn't want to hold that thing wide open. And we went to McLean Creek because
Yeah.
a lot of the guys like to ride that area. But we actually did like a photo shoot there with the 500s. We had a KX on a Honda and that. So
Right
it's
on.
kind of neat to have this
Yeah.
out there. Yeah, BRC, they got some new stuff coming out. Riley Will, thanks for loaning this. If it gets missing in transport out of my hands, I don't know where it went. I don't have all the other parts, so
What do you guys know about? I heard these things like if you get an XCW bottom end with an electric start on it, this thing will work and the electric start will fire this bad boy up.
yeah, they have the upgraded electric starter that they'll have on there.
Yeah.
And depending on basically if you want to have it on there, put it on there. They do have a decompressor on there as well, on the bellow valve.
Yeah.
And it started in the bush. Like we just
Not too bad.
yeah, I literally
Like you didn't have to do the big hop kick on it? Or?
no. Well, if you pull out your bellow valve, you can just kick it. It'll
Yeah.
go. You don't have to go top dead center
Okay.
and kick it over like that.
Yeah.
I
But
hope it doesn't kick back at you.
yeah, no, don't break the cases or anything like that.
Being an off-road guy and half off-road, half moto guy, that electric start like would sell me on something like this.
And
Like,
it works. It does because they upgraded the electric start on the KTM.
Yeah.
So it turned it over like nothing. So cold starts obviously are harder on any engine, and you want to cycle and things like that. But it's a pretty cool bike.
Yeah, it's pretty
and
amazing.
for the price, you get absolutely 100% everything. You just have to split your cases, put your transmission into that case, and away you go. It's the way it is. Amazing bike. Can't wait for what comes. We're gonna have this on the ice.
Cool.
So it'll be kind of neat. But yeah, we have our after show here that we're gonna have with Garett Schmidt from A.O.H.V.A. So we're gonna take a little break and then we're gonna bring Garett in and do that show. So thank you, Fordy. Big Shane.
Yep. Oh,
Gosh.
left-handed.
Awesome. Okay. Woo! Hey guys, welcome back to the Dirt Bike News live web show. I'm here with a special guest, Garett Schmidt. Thanks for coming to see us. You're with the A.O.H.V.A. Tell us a little about your position with them.
Sure. I'm the director, Northwest Region. We're all volunteers with, all the directors are volunteers with the A.O.H.V.A. and we're the governing body, or the Alberta recognized body for representing all highway vehicles.
So that could be any clubs that are ATVs, UTVs, dirt
Just
bikes.
Dirt bikes, just not four-wheel drive trucks.
Okay, awesome. So the reason I have you here is there's an interesting video that came out last Friday, on a new proposed park coming to the BigHorn region that affects a tremendous amount of people. I'm going to play that and then we're going to kind of comment on it.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Provincial government says the area between Jasper National Park and Banff National Park needs better protection to give all land users and the environment in that area a better chance to succeed as well as be protected. The Bighorn country is in that area and it's going to be centered around Nordegg. What the province is proposing is making a wildland provincial park area, provincial park, provincial recreation area as well as public land use zone. So what that means is people will still be able to do all the activities that they can do there right now. Hunting, fishing, camping, hiking, quadding, mountain climbing, all that fun stuff. But there will be better protection for the environment and clearer areas for them to do that. They said there's going to be a $40 million investment as well for operations, as well as upgrades to existing campsites and the addition of even more campsites. They say the hope is to create another area in the province that is kind of like Kananaskis country.
What we're looking for here is a development in and around Nordegg, similar to what we saw with Kananaskis and the adjacent communities. I mean, maybe not the same degree, certainly, as something like a Canmore, but it is the anchor community where people can probably do more than just stop for gas.
Now, this is still just being proposed at this point. They want to get public feedback. If you want to give your views on this, you can go online until the end of January. Tom Vernon, Global News.
Okay, that's a lot of information to take in at once. So with this new park, there's kind of some maps that we've actually brought out for the government. Right here on our screen, we have Rocky Mountain House and Nordegg. If users can see this pink area right now, can you tell us a little bit about what this area is?
Yeah, you bet, Mitch. So right now, the Bighorn Backcountry consists of 6 public land use zones.
Okay.
Right? Public land use zones, they're actually a legislative ability. So what they provide is protection in the environment while allowing responsible and sustainable recreational use. Mm-hmm. So they are one level over Crown. So every one of those areas that we're looking at there, colored, less the brown, is pretty much the existing Bighorn Backcountry.
So these kind of purple, pinkish ones
Correct.
that we'll see on the screen. Okay.
Yep.
And this is a government map that they've put up with their proposal.
Correct.
So now we have this huge swath of this darker color here, this red-brown. Can you tell us about kind of what this is?
So right now that area would have been Crown land, which we refer to in Crown land. Mm-hmm. And then that whole area is actually being proposed as a public land use zone, just like what is currently in the Bighorn area.
Okay, so a lot of users, they ride, there's a lot of acronyms. There's FLUZes, PLUZes, Crown Land. With Crown Land, kind of what happens when, say, me as a user, I go to Crown Land? What restrictions or kind of limitations do I have when I go there?
So the Crown Land doesn't really give the government the ability to regulate or use. So, I mean, you're going to be camping, guys are hunting, you don't have to be on a designated trail, you're just riding.
Yeah.
The public land use zone, PLUZ, that allows the government a legislative tool to say we will allow OHVs, but on designated trails. We allow this in this area and not this. So it's a management tool for managing the land. And then the third level is a park, which doesn't really manage the land. It's more about protecting it. So it's not really a land management tool.
And then our other map here, we have the same map we just saw in the Bighorn country, and then below we have Castle. This is the size of Castle in relation kind of to the parks that are coming in for proposal to Bighorn. And then there's also more FLUZes that are happening for Porcupine Hills and things like that.
Correct.
So in relation to Castle, what are the other restrictions that might happen? I know in Castle we had a huge, basically all our trails and everything, they're all shut down, closed. Yeah. Things like that happened.
I think we have 30 kilometers left in Castle.
30 kilometers. Okay. Wow. So when you have a restriction like that, what do we have in Castle? And then now what is it now?
So originally Castle was roughly around 800 kilometers of designated trails that was maintained by the clubs down there. And then during the Castle proposal, it was very much similar. We're going to create a wildland park. We're going to create a provincial park. Clubs and Albertans were told that use would stay the same. Okay. And today, I think we're at 30 kilometers will be the next step. So
which is a very, very
substantial,
small, very
substantial
small. You
reduction.
can cover that in 2 hours on any trip.
You bet.
And then our next map here is kind of another comparison of the Bighorn country we have in green, and we have provincial park protected areas. So this is current protected areas as well?
Correct. Yep.
and our map here is from the government. This is from the BigHorn. 6 public land use zones and several existing parks and public lands managed by government and volunteer groups. So this green will be the FLUs. We have PLUs, sorry, another acronym.
Yeah.
So basically what happens in that area is if it becomes a PLUs, existing trails will then have to be, you can't deviate from that.
Yeah, so what the proposal is, within those 6 PLUs is one PLUs, the BigHorn Dam area, where a lot of families go, a lot of young people can go, take your kids on 50s to go learn how to ride. That area is being proposed to stay as a PLUs.
Okay.
But the surrounding areas are going to turn into parks.
Okay. That's a big change.
It's a big change. Yeah.
So areas like this, a lot more infrastructure needs to be, created, make sure these users stay on these trails, and a lot more needs to be invested basically to the groups such as A.O.H.V.A and everyone else out there building these trails, and they don't exist right now here.
No, there is no funding model in Alberta to support from our registration fees to the volunteer clubs. In that country, it's the BigHorn Heritage ATV Society.
Okay.
And they take care of those trails. Great bunch of folks out there. And Friends of Eastern Slopes, they do a lot with the random camping areas and the horse trail guys.
Okay. And then, so the previous map we just saw, we have, basically, these are the different PLUSs, FLUSs, and parks that are in the zone. As you said, only some are permitted for OHVA use, which is motorized recreation here. So some of these areas are already protected. They're not allowed to go in those areas. And then also some are designated trails or not off trails and things like that. So in areas like this, that's, it's key to have those, but it also restricts it once you do it to a PLUS when basically the management, it hasn't been done beforehand it doesn't help the users at all to respect how they want it to happen if the trails aren't done.
Well, for sure, because education and enforcement is always one of the things we talk about, right? And stewardship, and that's a very important part. So with no funding model already, even if you change a land class designation, that doesn't do anything to inform people or educate.
Which is kind of what we saw in Porky's.
For sure.
So Porky's had an immense amount of trail system, and as you said, it went down to 30 kilometers.
Yeah.
And I saw the map, and it was basically it wasn't even a loop. It was just a trail that ended, and that was it. And this was the only trail for OHVs, which is ongoing. That's another PLUS that was happening.
Correct.
So that's huge. That's a huge impact, and a lot of users don't even know that it's coming into place or anything like that is happening there, which is huge. So that's kind of another point I wanted to go on is we have our map here.
Yeah.
This is currently what the whole area is.
Yeah.
The BigHorn stretches all the way up to Jasper. Nordegg is right here in this area of the lower right. So all this will become further park and PLUS extending out, and all the crown land will then be converted into PLUS.
Correct. So the Blackstone Wapiti there,
Yes.
there's no OHV in there right now. Okay. Job Klein, no OHV. Kiska Wilson is really the prime area. You can focus in around the dam where you see the blue, the purple areas there.
Yep.
That's where the most of the trail riding goes. I mean, there's a substantial amount of Albertans that go there. It's a nice little trail network. The guys take really good care of it. I mean, for volunteers with almost no money, right, other than locally raised. And they take care of that Kiska Wilson area. And then if you scroll down a little further, you're going to see that that's the Upper Clearwater Ram. That's being proposed to be in a wildland park. Very few trails in there right now. So a lot of those areas, and that's the whole definition of a public land use zone, is it allows use or not. So it is a level of protection. So just like those other areas, they're already protected by the PLUS from activities because they allow no activity.
Well, we have
right?
a water act as well, which
Absolutely.
goes across everything as a blanket. No matter what you're doing, you have to respect the water as well. And that I've seen in PLUSs and other FLUSs, the water act goes above and beyond everything.
Supersedes it.
Right now, you still have to respect that, no matter where you are in Alberta.
Correct.
Which is it's huge. You don't want to dirty the water or anything like that. Which is I know a lot of the bridges that are being built further up north as well for all these trail systems. It takes a lot of work and time to put those in, and
Well, we want them there too.
Yeah, and we don't want to be in Skag or anything like that because honestly, we don't want to clean our bikes, anything like that. And
4.5 hours of cleaning for 50.
Yeah, it's just not the way to be. So, as you said, BigHorn Park, the green here. This is currently or proposed?
That would be proposed. So that would be the provincial wildland park, that whole green area.
Okay.
So as you can see in there, those areas which, for the most part, there isn't trails, it's protected as a PLUS already. So this would be a conversion, calling it a wildland park.
Okay.
Right? The other little bit there to the west would be the PLUS. They've made some changes into the PLUS. Those areas that you see there are provincial parks.
Okay, these yellow areas.
Yes.
Okay, and then this currently is Crown land that will be converted into PLUS.
No, that's actually a PLUS right now. So they're
this is PLUS.
converting it into an actual park. So,
Oh, okay.
so it's already protected under the PLUS. It's going to the next level, which would be covered under parks.
And then this huge swath of land here will
All of that will be a PLUS.
will be a PLUS from Crown land.
from Clown.
So again, it'll be a lot more restrictions. You have to stay on trails which haven't been mapped, haven't been documented properly.
That's a really good point, Mitch, because you know what I think a lot of Albertans, a lot of fellow riders, a lot of people that enjoy the outdoors, what they're not aware of is probably what the PLUS restrictions are. And you know, we really try and get out that education, but the reality is that the trails, you're only allowed to ride on a designated trail in a PLUS. None of those trails on Crown land have ever been designated.
Correct.
So the minute that becomes a PLUS,
It's an illegal
all
trail.
trails are illegal
All trails are illegal.
unless they're designated.
And I've seen ones that are 4, 5, 6 feet wide, old slash lines, things
Yep.
like that. Is
Yeah.
that's no
And-
longer legal.
Yeah, and we don't ride. I think, you know, there's a real misconception that the guys out in the backcountry and motorized used, they ride everywhere, anywhere. And that's not the truth. I mean, you know, we ride the trails that we like. They provide scenic opportunities, some challenge, you know, technical.
Well, it's with the massive amount of trail networks we have. I work a lot with single track clubs and that. It's a lot of work to keep them clean, to keep them safe. Reroutes may have to happen. Like we had the huge floods that came in,
Yep.
and almost every trail got wiped out or changed in whatever way. We have massive winds in Alberta, and to keep these trails clean takes a lot of work. And we may have you know, certain sections that we can't go there for 2 or 3 years because they have to be cleaned out.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they're illegal trails once they turn into PLUSs.
Yes.
And that's a huge undertaking, is to then go clean these trails out, map them again, and
Well, And that's another good question about that, because who's mapping the trails? So in Alberta right now, the users, they're not part of the system. The Alberta Off-Highway is not part of the framework system to designate the trail. The trail is designated by planning, but there's a disconnect between the Alberta Off-Highway and users in general. It's not an associational, it's a framework issue. Because who knows best about how to ride and where to want to ride? That would be the users, right? Just like the fishermen they would probably know best about where they want to fish, right?
and then, well, they might have some trails that they really like and you want to keep open. Now, okay, you guys are cut off. You can't take your quad down there. You have to walk.
Or hunters.
Or anyone. Another big thing that I kind of noticed too is a lot of slash lines and everything like that. If they get blown over, it also limits a lot of you know, government workers. Say there's a fire or they need access for that. They're, you know, they have to be helied in. No longer can they take any. You know, people have to go out there and clean them. The biggest thing is like the user group we have is huge that go out there and clean. You know,
volunteers.
Volunteers are out there with their chainsaws, and you know what? I love going out there and cleaning it, make sure they're all clean, and then you know, you see mom and pa, they don't have to go in, you know, whatever mud hole. You can make a new route.
Well, you guys, everybody's great. I mean, we go out there. We love being outside.
Yeah.
We love being outdoors. This is our home away from home. This is why people work Monday to Friday, so they can go be back in the bush or go do their activities on the weekends.
Yeah, it's really nice to get off the asphalt, get out of the crowds. You're out there, and you might see a horse guy or whatever will by, and you say, you know, have a good day, away you go. You know, right now is with the PLUS happening, all of a sudden you'll have a huge concentration of users that were allowed to roam free, basically. You're still respecting the land. You still have your watershed and everything you have to respect. Now you're down to 30 kilometers of trail.
Well,
that's huge.
It's a big concern, because the more we can concentrate users, the more impact we have on the trails. The more impact on the trails, the more it takes time. So, you know, we want to disperse users for safety, for environmental impacts and other things. Right?
Good. So the government released a link that we want to have people fill out. You'll see it, where are we at? Right here. Right below here, Alberta BigHorn survey. This is the government survey. People need to go and look at the survey, and they need to fill it out.
Yes.
They need to fill in the comments. That's actually, I think, a huge thing. Is you may not agree with some of the questions. A lot of them are confusing. A lot of users might not even know what they're trying to get at. Is fill in the comments, and you know, maybe you can inform us a little bit of like what people should be putting in those comment boxes.
Well, I think, yeah, like from our perspective, and Mitch, what we'll do is just step back, is that there's a formal land use process in Alberta.
Okay.
And it's actually called the North Saskatchewan Regional Plan. And so we manage land regionally. So South Saskatchewan Regional Plan. The regional plan was developed first. The castle became something out of that regional plan. Tells people how to plan the land, right? The North Saskatchewan is actually under works right now. And I mean, it started in 2014. We just had the big rack survey that came out. I know you're going to get to that. But we had the rack survey pop up. That was Albertans' response.
So I'll actually bring it up here. So
Sure.
this is a rack survey. Tell us basically what this data is saying and how it affects what Albertans said and wanted.
Yeah, so in the regional plan, what happened was that they reached out to a regional advisory committee, which is a diverse group of people, that said, how are we, what are our recommendations? So the BigHorn wasn't one of the areas of consensus. It was actually a model to remain as a PLUS. They actually had identified that area, and the management of it was the model to use elsewhere. A lot of people were informed that there was possibly or potentially a park coming up, and the rack was the input method at that time, and those are the responses from the rack. I mean, the A.O.H.V.A had FOIP requested those rack results, and I think it was 54% of every single response was in opposition of the park or changes, and 85 of those that mentioned a park, 85% were opposed to the park. So that was the input from the rack process. Then that would have continued into our regular land use process. This proposal is completely ahead of the NSRP.
Okay.
So they've taken a good portion of land out and put it ahead. And that's what this proposal is right here.
And our next screen here. So we have basically proposed BigHorn country. So we had previous maps we saw. So this is the massive amount of land, which was Crown, that will now be put into PLUS.
Correct.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's an enormous.
It's the largest PLUS we'll have in Alberta. It's, by size. The BigHorn, the green and the gray, or the two shades of green, those areas represented 60.5% of our public lands in Alberta prior to. You can see by the size of that PLUS how big of a land use change.
So we'll come back. So this is basically what's being proposed. In the lower here, we'll see Castle. That's currently what is.
Yeah.
And this is what's coming. It's an enormous.
It's a lot.
Times bigger.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a little troubling that this size of land, that should almost have more consultation. That's a huge.
Well, that goes right back to what we were saying, right, Mitch? There's a regional plan that takes a long time of process to develop it. And this whole proposal has been taken out of that regional plan and dropped on the table right now and said, we're pushing this ahead for input, right?
And then another thing, like the PLUS, is it's all respect the land and things like this. And what kind of irks me is I've been off-roading for over 20 years, and everyone says, oh, you're OHVs and all the campers and that, you're all disturbing the animals and everything like this. Yeah. It's simply not true. Like a lot of people watching here, they're like, yeah, I'll sit there and they'll come up to me and it's like, we ride through them and let them do their thing. And
there's been, and that's really been the bad thing. Unfortunately, we haven't banned cars because of drunk drivers.
Yep.
We have not banned hunting because of poachers.
Yeah, we have licenses, we have speeding limits.
Yes.
In BC, you have to have winter tires. Alberta, not so much. But, things like that, and things are put in place to ensure that, okay, you can still do those things. Obviously, the seatbelt law. The seatbelt law didn't come until mid-'80s. Yeah. And, people are dying all the time. Okay, put your seatbelt on. Same thing with ATVs with helmets. That was brilliant thing that had to happen, right?
The A.O.H.V.A fully supports that.
Yeah, and it's things that have to happen. I absolutely want to see a framework that makes sense.
Yeah.
For me, if going from Crown land down to nothing, you now have 30 kilometers of trail. That's basically putting our number 2 highway down to 2 lanes and telling everyone to slow down. Yeah. It's going to create the biggest headache, and the infrastructure just is not in place. I don't think it's really thought of right now. Yeah. They're kind of asking us, what we want to do, and again, with the survey that we have, that's one way.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. We have a trail culture sign. Sorry, wrong link. BigHorn link. So again,
we don't see that.
Yeah, no. So again, everyone needs to go to this link. That's kind of the most important thing right now. That's one way that people can check out the survey and make sure that they get their input into the government. So again, right now I have, this is kind of a video we had. This is actually not in the big country, but kind of in that same Plouse that's being proposed. The animals really don't mind, you know, dirt bikers, OHVs. They kind of, you know, linger through, see what's going on.
Yeah, beautiful country, isn't it? That's why we go there. That's why we
it's
go
absolutely
there.
amazing. You know, and this is a massive, massive family of bighorn sheep that are not afraid of being around dirt bikers or anything like that. So, to me, I think that's one thing that's not being shown.
No.
You know, anyone watching this, they're going to be OHV users. Hopefully, we kind of expand a little bit further out than that. You know, that's huge. But the biggest push, it's not so much on us being negative effects on wildlife, which we're not. It's the water aspect. They say that we're all hurting the water, which is funny because this has come out, I believe, last year. On the left side of your screen, this is a government document, and the right, this just kind of says, can you explain a little bit to the viewers here what this actually means? This is a water quality sample?
Yeah, for sure. So the Alberta, the North Saskatchewan, they take river samples all the way, and we monitor our waters, right? And so what this is that's actually North Saskatchewan River Quality, 2015, I think it's 2015, 2018, something. But you can see there's the quality. So at the Clearwater, which is up at the upstream, right? It's at rated 100% for metals, nutrients, pesticides across the whole average.
And this was recently done. This is 2015, 2016, so
Yeah.
they want to do a 2-year study to actually get change.
Yeah, the bottom one is everything in graph. But if you look at the middle one is at Devon. So for example, so you see at Devon, it's 100%. The water quality doesn't drop until after Edmonton. Right.
Which makes sense.
Urbanization.
You're going through a city, things are, you know, you're going through sewers, you're not being filtered,
For sure. I mean, there's more people in the center of Edmonton in, you know, affecting that water use than there is of all of Albertan, all of outdoor Albertans, you know, into the backwaters of that.
And
right?
the one thing that I kind of find funny is, you know, they'll see the photos of the quads and everything going through the river and that.
Same photo.
They don't, the same photo every time. They don't actually show what happens when it rains in the mountains. And, you know, it's a natural cycle. The river naturally gets dirty and then it naturally cleans out over time. And then the levels drop. In 2 days, they could go from 5-6 feet down to a little stream. And it happens anytime it rains.
At the bottom, that's actually a quality index there.
Okay.
But other than riding dirt bikes, OHVs, ice racing, I also jet boat. So I'm on the North Saskatchewan River. That river fluctuates all the time because it's actually managed by TransAlta.
Yeah.
So even the floods that we have, we will see that river come out and knock out all the banks, just like what you guys had down south.
Wider and wider every year.
Washes it out, moves rocks. I've seen rocks the size of Volkswagens move, you know, 500 feet down the river.
Yeah.
Right? So...
another thing we had is kind of trails, mitigation, things like that happen.
Yeah.
I'm an absolute believer. Some trails have to close. I do a lot of work in McLean Creek, and I know a lot of clubs do a lot of work there and all over. Is a trail may have to be changed or diverted or upgraded, or you know, sometimes barriers have to be put in place so quads don't go on certain trails that are only for single track, or other mitigations might have to be done. This was kind of funny. Kind of funny thing that we saw was. This is trail mitigation in a way, or trail closures that the government has done. So this is actually like trails that are done.
Right.
To me, this is, you know, this isn't mitigation. This isn't helping anything really.
No, I wish that amount of equipment would have been spent on actually building some of our trails and helping our trails instead of, you know, knocking them down, right? Yeah, that's what they're calling rehabilitation of the trails, right?
And
or reclamation of the trails.
Reclamation, yeah. And, you know, to build a simple bridge to get out there, like, I know that we can do it. However, we need approval to have that out there.
Correct.
And that, to me, it just stops there. We try and get one, and it could be a year or two could go by, and we get one bridge when we could have got 30 in if the process, for some other reason, was streamlined a different way.
Well, and that's what we're talking as the A.O.H.V. I mean, that's part of our 4-point plan is building a framework issue, right? As I mentioned earlier, you know, the organizations have no input. They have input, but that's a vacuum. They're not decision makers in what trails stay or go. The other thing is about mitigation. I mean, every single thing we do on the landscape can have an impact of some sort.
Yeah.
The goal is to mitigate use, right? Continue use and mitigate its impacts, right? So.
And then basically kind of what happened is earlier in February we kind of had our another meeting, a public meeting that happened.
Correct.
And I believe the deputy minister was there, environment minister was there at this meeting. And interesting thing came up was SCI had a document that was there. This is basically before this. This is just came out of desired management plans outcome of the Bighorn country.
Yeah.
So this kind of sheds like a time scale of like what was expected, what is happening. Is there kind of a break in that timeline that we're not seeing?
Well, originally the Bighorn, I mean, that I see that document there. Yeah, I think that was one of the groups had released that document, and that was a timeline saying it was going to be Bighorn Park. So I mean, I think that's what lit up a lot of people about what was happening, right?
And we actually have from that meeting, we were there and we had recorded that. So let's watch that now and
Sure.
kind of see what went down.
I have a leaked document from the minister's office. I'm gonna share it tomorrow. I'll share it with yourself if you'd like. But this is a question I have for you, is you say that the public consultation is done May 2nd or 4th or whatever it was. There is no real plan. I have a leaked document from the minister's office that states that this is done, pushed through, and will be finalized in September. What is your comments to that? Because I will be forwarding this document to every organization on this floor.
I can't actually comment on it because I haven't seen it. So, but if you could share it with me, I'd love to see it. But I know from my perspective, our consultation period, as I said, closes on May the 4th. I can't even begin to tell you how long it's going to take us to comb through the information that we get back. So I don't have a definitive timeline to share with you in regards to when we'll have a plan ready or when we'll even be able to prepare a draft. Because again, if we get 15,000 responses as an example, it's going to take us a while to go through those. I can tell you right now though that in regional plans there is a bit of a template. This is our third one. So we do have an outline of what a regional plan would look like because they are consistent to some degree, but in terms of the specifics that go in it, we don't have those yet. That's why we're here.
So can I get you to tell me, you're telling us the transparency in this. I believe what I have is somewhat important to the people in this room. Will you have the minister respond to us and all of us in a timely manner on this?
I can certainly bring it to the minister's attention for sure.
But that's not guaranteeing the good people of Rocky Mountain House and area a real response to this. Like I want to know that someone is going to come to this community and answer to these people why their backyard is being threatened and being taken away when I have a documentation saying that it's done, that we're wasting our time here.
Okay. Well, and again, I can't speak for the minister.
Okay, that's pretty deep.
Yeah, that was in Rocky Mountain House. There was that leaked document. And as the gentleman was talking there from the Alberta government, there is a regional plan. And that is what we were talking about earlier. This park has been released completely outside of that. And that document that you're about to show, this is the leaking that this was going to happen,
Okay.
period.
I'll go to it right now. So let's do a little bit of timeline. The meeting that we just saw, that was in February, I believe.
Yep.
So as he said,
March.
there's a massive amount of input and data, which is the link that people need to fill out that they have to go through, and they're unable to basically give a timeline and things like that. However, this is the document he was talking about, literally as he said this.
Yeah, the RAC results that we showed, the 85% were against the park, those were the results to that input session he was talking about, and that they were going to go through the NSRP. When that leaked document there, for example, says release the final NSRP, including the environment managed frameworks, establish the Bighorn Wildland Park. The key word in there is release the final NSRP. Well, the NSRP isn't done, and the park's ahead of it.
As they just mentioned.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So public consultation is huge. So there's meetings going on right now.
Yeah, I hear.
January, February is basically the end of the consultations. Like, that's right quick.
Right through Christmas time, we're making decisions.
And literally today, they're having meetings
Right
and
now.
people need to get out. So
Yeah.
that's the biggest is people need to get, know where these meetings are. They need to go on and see this, which is actually interesting because we had one of the meetings that was sent to us, the schedule.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. We literally just saw this today. Never heard of any of these coming out. And you're part of A.O.H.V.A.
Yeah, I've seen
and
those.
I'm part of a lot of organizations with single track,
For
which
sure.
are users in these areas, including Rocky Mountain House. And for me to see this and to see the date, which happens to be when our web show is absolutely amazing.
Wow. Yeah,
So,
I haven't seen that.
there's a lot of dates coming up. December 6th, Rocky Mountain House has tons. Rocky Mountain House is basically, core of where the Nordeg is.
Huge affected, yeah.
And then the Drayton Valley as well. This is going south or basically north of the North Saskatchewan River, all the way up to Jasper.
Yes. That Blues goes all the way to Sundre, through Rocky, up to Drayton and back.
Yeah.
All the way back.
And that's a massive amount
of land.
And, I know a lot of these people, they're not on the internet, they're not on the Facebook, things like that. For them to be for me being as connected I am to just get this now.
Wow.
I don't think they have a chance in hell of making these meetings or knowing about them or being able to go to them or invited. To me, it was just kind of a second, came out at the end of, end of the day kind of thing.
Well, there's
to
a
get
lot of
out.
people affected. I mean, the fishing guys are affected too, right? The hunters, everybody's going to be affected.
Well, that's in core for there. All the hunters, all
Yeah.
the outfitters, all year, they have a limited window to go through there and, they're going to see this and they're like, well, I didn't know about this. Well, how do they know? How do they get told about these things? So, and we have another thing here on with the Alberta Fish and Game Association. 25 members strong. That is huge. That is a massive amount of people.
1908 they've been around, believe it or not.
1908.
1908. The Alberta Fish and Game was founded in 1908.
So that's 100 years.
Yeah, 100 years.
That's absolutely
amazing, isn't
that's
that?
amazing.
Right?
Yeah, I'd love to see their membership base on how it's grown. 25,000 is absolutely huge. But as they stated in this letter that they sent on June 11th of this year, on behalf of 25,000 plus members, expressed disappointment with the Castle Park and the Wildland Park that went through. So to me, 25,000 members
It's pretty powerful.
didn't get consulted. Kinds of makes you think, how is the consultation process broken? Is it happening properly? Are there certain things that need to be changed? Things like that. So,
Or is the voice of 21,000 considered one?
yeah. And, is it just one tick or is it whatever?
One tick, yeah, exactly.
But another aspect is 25,000 people. They are also OHV users as well.
Yeah.
So, it's more people.
Yeah, and we have a lot in common. I mean, and that's the thing. Whether we dirt bike or run side-by-sides or quads, I mean, those trails and a lot of those, it's not just your recreation, it's access to recreation, right? We all want to preserve it. I don't know one guy that goes out there.
Yeah.
And I sure as don't associate with those guys that just want to trash it. I mean, but those problems are leadership and stewardship and support. That's how you teach people how you want them to act.
Well,
right?
and the big thing too is all these clubs, they need to get their support so they're able to go out there and they're able to build these trails up.
Yeah.
If you can have a guy that's out there, Kate, you're going to be there Friday, you're going to see everyone come in.
Yep.
How's it going? Are you a member of any clubs? That's
For
one
sure.
thing is I tell everyone is like, are you a member of a club? Yes, I am. I'm like, you should be a member of a minimum of 3.
If you ride a bike, join a club.
Join a club. It's awesome. You get all the ins and outs of all the trails and everything. But that's huge. I think that the government needs to support all these clubs a little bit more, and the voices as well aren't really being represented. Because I know a lot of these guys, 25,000 guys, are not walking in to go fishing.
And some may and some are, but we all are in the backcountry because we love it.
Yeah.
The big thing is 25,000, of those members. Not everybody is on social media, Facebook, 24/7 plugged into the internet. I mean, a lot of people love the backcountry. They love that backcountry, right?
So, Garrett, in the region of the Bighorn, the MLA is Jason Nixon.
Correct.
It's his UCP leader right now?
House leader, but
House
he's the
leader.
MLA for the area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yesterday he was actually up in the house and he had a question period with Shannon. So let's check that out.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, in making this announcement, the Minister has shown a complete disregard for the comprehensive planning process for the region in an attempt to ram through changes. Now, leaked documents from the process show that these changes are completely against the recommendations of the Regional Advisory Council in the area. The NDP is clearly not satisfied and wants to focus on the demands of their special interest groups. So again, Mr. Speaker, through you to the Minister, why are you spending so much time and effort to avoid consulting with a full representation of the community, not a hand-picked representation of the community?
Okay. So, as what Jason kind of just echoed there, the rack that came out really wasn't being represented from kind of what's coming out of from Shannon. So with Jason and MLAs, what can we expect from the UCP kind of for OHVs in Alberta?
Well, I think the UCP's made their position. They released the position in regards with this. And, I mean, you know, we've got an election coming, right? And I think some of these decisions are going to become election issues, right? I mean, those guys, this is obviously a major issue for it to be on the table in the House, right, or in our legislature.
And brought up multiple times.
Multiple times, and I think it's a very polarizing issue, and that's what I said, guys. This isn't, land use shouldn't be a polarizing decision. This is about everybody wanting how to manage the land, and this is how we're ending up.
So, basically, everyone needs to get hold of their MLAs. They need to get everyone in their area.
It doesn't matter what your political MLA is. You need to phone your MLA and you need to talk to them or message them or email them or hit them up on Facebook and message them and give them your opinions on this. And are you being represented? Right?
Yeah, you know, their interests as well, and they need to,
for sure.
You know, they need to get their voice out there and do that.
Yep.
Awesome.
Right
So
on.
that's kind of thing I want to kind of end the show here is to let everybody know. They need to go to the link. It's just down on your side. It's over there. You can point down. There. Go to that link. Go online. Go on and learn about what is happening with the BigHorn.
Right.
And to understand that your voice is on there. The survey, you know, you may not understand the survey, but people need to fill in those comments.
Yeah, I think a really important with filling out those comments in the survey is that if you're opposed to the changes, be very clear in those comment boxes to just make sure. You know, there's different ways to manage land, but if you are not supportive of this proposal, if you're worried that the same things have happened down in Castle and Porcupines and Livingston and every other one is going to be the result of this one or end up the same, then I highly urge people that if you feel that way, you mark that comment box that I do not support this proposal or I do not support this park.
And
right?
From what we've seen, it's, you know, the last one we did for Porkies and Castle.
And why?
It's working, right? Like
and
a lot of these letters
why?
are going in.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a question on there that...
Yeah, and if you're in support, tell why. But I mean, that is Albertans, you know, Mitch, we really got to let our riders and our groups know that this is the first survey that we've had since any of these land use changes where we actually have a say before the decision. Castle was done ahead of time. We only got to consult or input on the management of it. Porcupine Livingston was done, input on the management.
And as we saw on the map, the Castle compared to the new plan is a drop in the bucket.
It's a drop in the bucket
to how big this new
But
one
people
is.
can make a difference, and you know, we like to believe that governments represent the majority of people, and their directions support the majority of people. So people get out there and do that survey because this survey is like a vote. If you support these objectives, state you support them. If you do not support them, state that. Right.
And aside from this, the survey that's going out, or MLAs, can people go to their MLAs, contact them, voice their opinions?
Absolutely. Another thing I think that, you know, we were talking a little earlier, Mitch, that the story of people and why they do and why are you guys out there, you know, on those trails? You know, part of this is, I don't think the people who are promoting this also understand that we're actually, in the most cases, the guys that are hunt and fish and use the quads and dirt bikes. We love the outdoors. That's why we're there.
Yeah.
But that's not captured. It's the same old picture of here's that guy stuck or whatever it is. So I really recommend, you know what, you guys, take 5 minutes, write 2 paragraphs, send it to the papers.
Yeah.
Have your voice heard. I mean, we need to inform people that the image portrayed is not who we are.
And
right?
I'd like to see even a lot of the kids watching that. I know, you know, the writing may not be the best. Write it all out. Have your parents write it. Send every single letter in. You know, send a photo of you and your kid on your quad out there enjoying camping and things like that. And I think things like that need to get out to the media. They need to get out to the papers. Write the same letter.
You write
and
that
send
letter
it to every single organization, Edmonton, Journal.
If you don't have the
Global.
time to go hunt that around, I'll tell you, you send that to the A.O.H.V.A and we will make sure that gets in the papers.
Awesome. So how can they contact you?
Just go to email. It'd be office@aohva.com.
Okay.
We have multiple directors. Send them on. We're all on the same page. I mean, we're all volunteered for this. But, you know, and you brought up a good thing about the kids. I mean, a lot of the reasons we are fighting for proper consultation and preserving our recreation, the access. Mitch, you've seen a lot of Alberta, and so have I. This is building for the next generation kids. I want that to be there for them.
Yeah, no,
right?
I've been on a lot of trails where, 40 years ago,
Yeah.
my dad's over 60 now. He's like, oh, I was on this trail when I was 21, and I'm there on that trail.
That's right.
With this new plan coming in, that could basically wipe that out to continue.
Correct.
Yeah, guys, go down below, the link below, albertaparks.ca/bighorn country. It'll also be on DirtBikeNews.ca, all our YouTube, all in the comments. Also, Alberta Off-Highway Vehicle Association,
Correct.
A.O.H.V.A.com,
Yep.
as well as your Facebook, things like that. Again, this is Garett Schmidt. Thank you again for coming down.
Thanks, Mitch.
And it's been good. I'd like to see all the surveys and everything that are going, and also all these meetings. I'm sure we'll see you at a couple of these meetings coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
So
now that I have the list.
Yeah, we'll put the window back up. Everyone, these meetings here, I'll get my face out of the way. Here, Garett, you can be on there. So take a note of these meetings. These are happening for stakeholders, users, everyone in the area coming up. The links will be up on our Facebook page where they can access this page. We'll do it so you can print it off and things like that and share it.
great.
And talk to your LNAs, write letters like crazy. Send them in to us, send them into Dirt Bike News. You go info@DirtBikeNews.ca, send us your letters. We'll get them posted on there as well. We love hearing from you guys out there. Garett, thanks so much for coming in.
See you guys on the trails.
All right, see you guys.
Right on. Thank you.